What is good, guys? Just a quick little video here. Nothing too special. Just a figure I've had for quite a while, which is the Daftoys version of their scarecrow. Actually throwing a base back in the day, which is cool. Well, generic sticker, but it's nice that they included a base. So I missed out on the Hot Toys version when I started collecting. I did see it online, but I was collecting. I started collecting Dark Knight stuff, but when I was younger, I only had so much funds and stuff like that. So I had to pick and choose. Back in the day, what I really, really, really wanted. And at that time, that was like the DX11 Joker, Eric Draven the Crow, a couple other stuff that started out with. Um, I regretted, missing out on him for quite a while. This was a good placeholder. I always felt one day they were going to do a 2.0 of this guy with an actual Cillian Murphy head, which finally we got. That was a day one pre-order. Um, I'm actually thinking about getting two of those because I feel like that's something they're probably not going to touch for ever again or quite a while. Um, but you know, this does a good job. It's not weathered, obviously, something I could easily do. Um, and I left it unbanded like that, and all unstrapped, excuse me, because it just looks better like that. Especially in the movie, if you look at it, it's all the straps are hanging. Um, he came with two head sculpts. He came with this one, and then he came with the focus there. Came with the one that's got like the maggots on it. Now, obviously, this is an old figure, right? And this is a third-party figure from Daftoys, so it's not going to be the most perfect sculpt, but most likely this is probably a recast, obviously, of Hot Toys. The other one's not a recast, but I could be wrong. But for the most part, really heavy body. Um, I've always liked the feel of the figure. Um, so I did pick up the Demon Batman recently. That was in the two-part set of this figure back in the day. I guess that's been out almost, what was that, 12, 13 years ago? I may be wrong, maybe longer than that. And I did not know this. I could be off with the count. I had heard recently that, at least I read it online. That doesn't mean anything, obviously. That set with the Demon Batman and Scarecrow were only, I think, around 4,000 or 5,000 worldwide. I could be wrong about that. If that's the case, man, I'm really, really happy that I grabbed that Demon Batman. So off and on, I would search eBay, and I came across a guy that actually lived um, in Orlando, which is 50 minutes away from me, and gave me a great price. Brand new. The plastic was still on it. I had to take off all the stickers. You could smell it. It was just a brand new figure. Very awesome. And the rubber still holds up to this day. It's just a different type of rubber. Uh, I still kind of coat it with 303 just, because it is rubber, just to keep it nice and clean. I am in Florida, so I haven't had any figures ever deteriorate except for one. That was the Eric Draven the Crow, which I went ahead and refixed the whole thing. Um, I think I did a video about that a while back, but if not, if you're interested, I can do a video on it. It's pretty simple to do, but that was my bad. When I had moved one time, I had forgot he was in a garage, and yeah. So when I finally opened him up, the pleather, well, not right away, but when I opened him up, put on the shelf, maybe a year or two later, I want to go ahead and change his posing uh, that I had him in, and he completely flaked apart. So, but it's all good. I fixed them, and I got the Sideshow Eric Draven, which is good, and then till the Caustic Plastics comes out, which looks amazing. But anyways, get back to this figure. Um, he doesn't have a lot of. You can't really do anything with his head, right? You can tilt it back, about right there. That's about it. Which is, I always did. I always liked this pose when he's kind of like Scarecrow. Um, but the base isn't the ideal base. It's just a cheap base that they threw in. But like I said, it's nice that they included the base. I order off a guy off Amazon, well, eBay. a lot of people do them, but I've been getting a lot of custom bases over the last like 6 or 7 years for 12 to 15 bucks that are really nice, like hexagonal shape, with no sticker. It's actually imprinted into it and like kind of like sealed up. And that's probably eventually what I'm going to get for this guy and change out this base, because I'm kind of running out of room. I have I had 5 cases. Well, 4. One needs to be built, so I got to move a lot of stuff around. I'm gonna have like all movie stuff in one cabinet. The other stuff's gonna be all Dark Knight trilogy. Then the other stuff's gonna be a mix in of in art, and then horror, and then so on and so forth, Marvel. But yeah, just wanted to kind of share that with you guys. Yeah, let me know what you think. Either way, I got a bunch of more videos coming here soon. I have over probably 40 or 45 figures, and most of them I haven't done reviews on. So again, these are going to be old videos or old reviews. There's going to be probably 20 more of this guy on YouTube that are more, ideal unboxing and whatnot. So I'm just giving my all around opinions of pretty much every figure, even if it's old. But appreciate you guys.